name is Sarah. Welcome to the It is a Sarah podcast. Today it is Monday, November 18, 2024, and in this episode I want to share my handwerk perikelen. That's the Dutch word for my crafty adventures with you from this week. I'm coming to you from the Netherlands, so excuse my Dutchy English. I love to knit, I love to crochet, I love to sew, and I love to talk, so that's the perfect combination for making this podcast. I make my episodes in Dutch and in English, so be sure you pick the right one. Okay, welcome on this rainy Monday. I just filmed my Dutch episode and then I was struggling with some very bright sunlight and now it suddenly rains. The sun is all gone, I only see grey clouds and I don't know if you can hear the raindrops falling on our roof. Yes, you can, I think. I'm sorry, it's just a cozy background noise. You have those playlists on Spotify and YouTube and wherever with those white noise and brown noise. I found a list recently, so this is just some cozy background music from nature. Okay, today I have some things to share with you. I didn't finish any objects. But I have a new cast on, I have some plans for December. Of course I want to share a little bit about the Knit to Pulto Festival because it's almost happening. Today is Monday and this Saturday it will be. So very exciting. I will save that for the end of the episode. So you don't have to listen to it if you are not interested. But it's a very big project for me, a big thing which is happening. So quite exciting. And in Dutch we say, where your head and heart are filled with, your mouth, it also comes out of your mouth. That's a very bad translation, but it is what it is. Okay, but let me start with what I'm wearing. I'm wearing quite an oldie. I don't remember the exact year I knitted it. I think 2021 or 2022. This is the Spark sweater from Andrea Mowry. Is it Spark sweater or Sparky? No, something, one of those. I really love this. I loved knitting this sweater, but it came with a lot of issues for me. And that has nothing to do with the pattern, because the pattern was great. It has all to do with my personal preferences. And I will share them with you in this episode. It is a top-down sweater. I love knitting top-down sweaters. It has a round yoke and that's part of the problem. I love round yokes. I love knitting them. I love seeing them on other people. I don't love wearing them because of this. It's bothering me. It's annoying me. So I did some modifications, which I will share with you in a minute, to get a better neckline, but it didn't really work. Then it is all over color work. It's a sport weight pattern for sport weight yarn. I knitted it with a hand-dyed Surrey alpaca yarn from a Dutch dyer which isn't dyeing anymore. It was gifted to me by her. Her name was Draadkleur, or that was actually not her name. Her company name was Draadkleur, but she isn't dyeing anymore. And I combined it with Rauma Finul, the bright pink and the dark brown. And that's actually a light sport weight, heavy fingering weight. And I did a lovely bind off and cast on. I really love to give it a bright touch with very hot pink. So I did all the bind offs and the cast ons, just one row, one round with that very hot bright pink fuchsia. And then I changed color to the main color. Okay, so let me start with the neckline. Because I was always struggling with those round yoke necklines, I was playing with it, looking for solutions to get it more wider, better fitting on me. And one of the solutions I thought it might help was casting on more stitches. Because I had one pattern, I think it was from Jennifer Steingas, the Fern and Feather, which has a little bit of a wider neckline, and that was suiting me better. So I thought if I make necklines wider on round yoke patterns, maybe I will be more satisfied with the fit. So this sweater I tried. What did I do? I think you can check my Ravelry notes, but I think I knitted size 2 What you cast on a several amount of stitch, then you knit the ribbing, then you knit the short rows at the back to create a little bit of extra fabric in the neck. That also gives a little bit of a lower neckline. And then you do some increase rounds before you start with the color work. So what I did I checked the number of stitches after that increase round. So I don't know the numbers anymore, but maybe I had to cast on 100 stitches for size 2, and after that increase round I needed 120 stitches. So what did I do? I searched for the size which was most close to that amount of stitches, and I casted on for that size, maybe size 5 or 6, and I followed the ribbing and I followed the instructions for the short rows, and then I skipped the increase round. Maybe I need to increase 1 or 2 stitches, but after that I had the same amount of stitches on my needles as I needed for knitting size 2. So that creates a much more wider neckline. And of course, the designer didn't choose for that option with a reason, I think. And I know that reason now too, but I learned by doing, so also by making mistakes. The neckline was wider here, but it was also wider here, so it was quite wide. And yeah, when I was wearing it, it was going backward. So when I did this, so then it was okay, but it was quite wide. And it looked nice when you are just wearing a tank top under it. It can be nice to have a quite wide neckline. It looks a bit like a boat neckline. That's not really what I like on me. But then you have that wide neckline and you see the strands of your tank top under it, and it can be a nice detail. But in winter I'm not only wearing a tank top under my sweater, I'm wearing 26 layers under my sweater. So no, that's not 26, but I'm wearing, I have the strands of my bra, then I have the strands of my tank top, then I have my t-shirt, and then I have my dress. So it's all busy here, and that's not a nice detail. That's just too much what you see. You want to cover all those layers. So it was not really looking nice, and I didn't wear the sweater a lot. Yesterday I found it in my wardrobe, and I love the colors. It's quite colorful for me. I really love wearing neutrals, browns and greens, and every time I wear something new, my family members, my husband and children, they don't notice that I'm wearing something new. So I always say, hello, I have a new sweater or cardigan. And they always reply, yeah, that's again a new brown woolly layer. We don't see the difference. But yesterday I was wearing this one, and they all said, hey, that's a long time ago since you wear that sweater. So it has to do with the colors, I guess. And I really love working with colors. I prefer wearing neutrals, but wearing colorful items every now and then is also really nice and fun. So yeah, what did I do? I added some elastic. Here it is. Do you call it neckband elastic? I don't know. You have that special very thin elastic you can weave in through your stitches at the back to make your neckline a little bit tighter. I have this very thin elastic. You can hardly see it. It is actually vintage elastic, and yeah, you know, when elastic is vintage, that's not always a good thing. But a few months ago I received a very beautiful vintage sewing box, very retro fabric, from one of my neighbors. It was from her mom, and her mom passed away several years ago, and she was organizing the stuff, and she didn't want to keep it, and she knew I really love crafting, so she gave it to me. That was very lovely, and I was very grateful, very happy with it. And it was filled with all the vintage craft stuff. Handiwork, do you say it like that? I don't know. I always think that word is a little bit silly, sounds a little bit silly, but in Dutch we say handwerk, so I think it's correct. Also this very thin elastic. So I thought, oh, this is the elastic people are telling about in their podcast. They use it for the neckline, so I will keep it. And I used it for the neckline for one of my little niece sweater, which was also a little bit on the wide side, and it was okay, and it did hold up quite good, I guess. So I thought, let's try it on my neckline. So I did do that this morning, and it was very... I'm not the most patient person, but I'm also not very impatient that I really get... Now, aggressive is not the word I'm looking for, but what I really felt with this tiny thin elastic, I really want to throw it through the room, and I don't have that feeling quite often. So, in Dutch we say I get very kriegel. I felt kriegel. So I don't know if you recognize that, but it was way too thin and it didn't work nice. And I was very careful with tightening the neckline because I was a bit afraid it would be too much. And then I did a fit and I could hardly see the difference. So I was being too careful. So I tried again, but then I used the elastic which I used for making the bracelets for the festival. I decided to put that in, and it's a little bit thicker, and it's definitely not non-visible. I don't know if you can see it this way. I don't think. My phone is having a hard time. My phone is getting old, so focusing is a problem. But it was my birthday last week, and I did receive a vlog camera, so I am very spoiled, and I didn't have the time to play with it yet. I have to check how it works, but it will come next month. So then I have plenty time to make nice episodes, I hope, with that thing. I think it's not as wide as it was, so I think it's good. I don't know how it will hold up. I'm wearing it for the first time this way today, so I think we are good. I always think my necklace is a little bit annoying, so I forgot to take it off. I have a shorter one, but this is all, I don't know, it's just too much. I think we are okay. I really love to wear the sweater for the fabric, but because it is all over color work, it's double layered, and because it's a sport weight yarn, it's not very thick. It's very nice and very warm, and it was also a lot of fun to knit. I did do another sweater operation on this one. When I did knit it, I knit it quite long because I planned to wear it on a pair of jeans. I have a pair of jeans, dark brown with flared legs, but I never wear jeans. I did wear them every now and then a few years ago, but I really prefer to wear skirts and dresses. So I never wear that combination. I did never wear that combination. So I decided to make this sweater shorter because when it's cropped length, I can wear it on my skirts better. But this pattern also has very nice and lovely tiny pockets. Very useless, I guess. Those pockets, I never used them, but they were very much fun to knit, and also they were looking very nice. But I had to remove them because they didn't match with the cropped length. As you can see, maybe the ribbing stitches are very wonky. This one is more nice and straight, but because I frocked the yarn and the yarn was very crinkly and wonky, I couldn't knit it quite straight. Although I did block it again afterwards, but it didn't work enough. I know there are ways to uncrinkle your yarn, but I was too lazy for that. So wearing the sweater today, I think we are good. I have a solution for the round yokes planned. I want to play with that. My idea is I knitted beginning of this year the ultra worsted cardigan, and that's also a cardigan pattern with a round yoke, and I made it with a big collar and a zipper. And I thought, if I can add a collar with a zipper to the round yoke sweaters, then I don't have this problem anymore. So I have the collar, I have the zipper, and only until here. I don't want cardigans, but sweaters. So until there, and I have to do a little steek in the collar work, but I can do that, and then I can have all the round yoke sweaters with colors. I love it when the fabric is in my neck, but also the open, you have a bit of a V-shaped neckline then. So I think that might be a solution for my round yoke sweater high neckline problem. And I definitely want to play with that. I don't know which pattern I will use first. I don't know. Now when I'm wearing this one, I really love knitting this one. So maybe I can use this one or a new one, but maybe it's better to try it first with a thicker yarn, so it's a little bit less time consuming, so you know how it will work out. And yeah, we shall see. But I really am looking forward to play with that. Okay, enough about what I'm wearing. I don't have any finished objects. I didn't have much knitting time, although that's not completely true because I knitted almost one sock this weekend, so there was knitting time. Don't believe everything I say, please. that was never meant to be that you believed everything I say, because I'm saying a lot. No, that's not true. I'm also not lying, but things can change. And yeah, I did knit a little bit on my Wacky leftover jumper, a free pattern on Ravelry by Harvie. I know it right now, I guess. I really love knitting this sweater. It's a double DK bulky weight sweater. I'm knitting away all my DK scraps, and I don't really know for who this sweater will be, so that makes it a little bit a challenge deciding the sleeve length. That's why I didn't knit the ribbing yet. I made my sleeve a little bit too narrow, a little bit too much decreases, but too many decreases, but I re-knitted the sleeve, and now I have to do a quick fit. It's quite heavy and warm. It will be a lovely sweater, and I really love it. The pattern is also available in kid size, adult size. You can play with it. It is a bottom up. I must confess I prefer top down, but it's just really much fun knitting it and using all your scraps. Yeah. I also knitted on a sock. As I said, it was my birthday last Friday, and I didn't celebrate it. We always celebrate the birthday of our children, and then it's okay. I was very busy last Friday, but we did celebrate it together with the family and with my family, with my husband and kids, and they spoiled me very much with all the nice presents. And one of the presents was a skein of sock yarn, a sock yarn ball, 100 gram. It is commercial sock yarn, and it is a lot of brown, a lovely shade of brown and green and grayish green. It is from Anel. That's a commercial Belgium yarn, and my local yarn shop sells it, and one of the kids did buy it at the local yarn shop. So it was a little bit of a surprise how it would knit up. I could I couldn't see that anywhere. So it was a surprise. And at that moment when I received the sock yarn, I thought it would be nice to do a birthday cast on. I didn't plan one. It's not really something I do, but we were sitting at the kitchen table in the early morning having a good nice time together, and I thought this is the perfect moment to cast on something for my birthday with sock yarn I received for my birthday. So I did cast it on, and then I have those. This is the results by how far I am right now. I did start with some stripes, and then there came a lot of brown and then stripes again. I did add a contrasting heel and then stripes again. So of course, when I was knitting away this brown, my Miss Perfect, I didn't invite her on my birthday, but she was there anyway. My Miss Perfect came along and she said, "Oh, those stripes at your toes, they are not looking very nice. It would have been much more beautiful if the toes were brown." And I did agree with her. I didn't check that. I just start knitting with the beginning of the yarn ball. But I prefer my toes to be brown too. But then I realized the moment I casted on this sock was a very, very hard jumping moment. Me, my family, dark, early Friday night on my birthday, having a nice and cozy time together, drinking coffee and tea. And they were spoiling me with all their lovely presents, and they were singing for me and we were burning a candle, and it was just a good moment. And I cast it on then. So that moment is catched in those stripes into the toe. So I thought, okay, what's more important? hold on to the moment or have the perfect toe. And then I sent Miss Perfect away because the moment was more important, of course. And it's just a sock. And she did understand. She did understand. It was the perfect moment. So she loved that too. So I knitted and knitted and knitted. And I decided to add a contrasting heel. I used some yarn from my stash, some sock yarn. This is long yarn jabot. This is it was gifted to me in the time I worked for Long Yarns, and they come together with those tiny little things within. They are in the inside, and this is I forgot the English name. This is an extra yarn to reinforce yarn to make your heels and toes stronger. This is a little bit of wool, I guess, but a lot of nylon, and you add it to the part of the heels and the toes, and it's some extra strength because the chance you make holes in your socks are the biggest there. I didn't have that left in black because I also use it for embroidery or sewing buttons on my garments. So I couldn't find the black one. So I picked a very dark gray charcoal one, and that gives it a little bit of a marled effect, but it's actually quite nice. I love it. The only thing, Miss Perfect didn't see that, but I also, I just counted my rounds before I started the heel. I always do 60, but apparently there was just one round, or maybe no, 2 rounds left before the end of the stripe. So it might, I think maybe it was better to do the heel after that stripe, but I didn't think about that. And now it's actually quite fun. It's sketched into the stripe. Yeah. This is the shadow wrap short row heel. I really wanted to start toe up. I am in my cuff down phase, heel flap and gusset phase, but I really wanted to do this. I'm not quite sure if I make just a normal sock or a slouchy sock. When I knit a slouchy sock, I just knit on and on and on. So for a slouchy leg, maybe I will do that. I will keep a little bit left for in my memory blankets, but then just, I know that I need 50 grams, or maybe I can say 45 grams for both socks, and then there's a 10 grams left for into whatever I want to do into. And yeah, the only thing is that when I want to knit the cuff, I have to do the reinforcement yarn. I have to add it too, because of the color. I didn't think of that, because when I only do the black yarn, normally I don't use reinforcement yarn for the cuffs because it's not needed, but then the color will be different. I think I have enough of this color. I have another one to do that. So I think I will make an extra strong cuff. Yeah. Okay, so having fun with this one. It are quite busy days right now. So having a sock knitting project next to me is perfect, because it's the perfect project to pick up and knit every now and then. I had a lot of computer work this weekend too, and I just can do 15 minutes of computer work and then 10 rounds of knitting, and I alternate that. And so my heart jumping moment is there too. I'm not only working, but I'm doing both, and that's very nice and lovely to do. That was it. Now a little bit more about the Knit to Purl to Festival. Let me start with doing some advertisement. Some advertisement as a very proud mom, because my youngest girl, I told about her before, she is a knitter and crocheter too. She loves doing that, and in April this year we celebrate King's Day, the birthday of our king, and she did sell. There are a lot of activities and a lot of markets, outside markets. We call it rommelmarkt, trash market, especially for children in the park and the city. And she did sell all her handmade crochet plants, and she is really talented. She is a very neat crocheter. There are a lot of lovely plants. I will try to add a little close-up at the end of the video, because they are so sweet. But she gave me one for my birthday too, and I told her, okay, let's do it after the festival, after Knit to Pilto, because she really wants to sell them on Knit to Pilto too. And I think I want this one, such with the long curly, the pea plant. I really love it. So there, it can stand there. It would be very lovely. But she will sell her plants at Knit to Pilto, and I think that's really a nice thing to do. She wasn't really motivated to crochet, and that was all right. She didn't have to do it. It's just she doesn't have to do. I'm struggling with the verbs. She doesn't have to do it. I think I have to say it like that. She was knitting her sweater, but 2 weeks ago she really felt the crochet motivation. So she added a lot of plants to her stash. So she will sit there with a table filled with those lovely tiny crochet plants. And it's really good. Really hard jumping. I'm looking forward to that. There's another teenage girl, 13-year-old. My girl is 15-year-old, and one of the daughters of one of my knitting friends, who's also doing an activity, she designed something really special together with her mother for the festival. Her mother is very good with words. She can make the most beautiful sentence, and she will do something with that on the festival too. But she is especially her daughter is a very good painter and drawer, and she picked a picture from Knit to Pilto, and she made a drawing of it, and they made a beautiful postcard together with a lovely sentence in Dutch. Door een draadje verbonden, which means connected by yarn. And that's where whole Knit to Pilto festival is about. That postcard is a little present for everyone who will visit the festival, and also you can buy the cards at the little girl's place. She's somewhere on the festival location, and she's selling her own work, and that's really hard jumping. And I really love to promote and to how do you say it? To be a cheerleader for those little tiny creative talents. So, yeah. Okay, so the Knit to Pilto Festival. It's a festival I am organizing together with my brother this year, this coming Saturday, 23 of November. And it is, for me, it is a desire. Now, it's more a vision. It's more a vision I had for a few years. I saw myself organizing something there. But I am not an event organizer, so I really, most of the time I didn't want to organize an event because that's not my thing. But the vision came on, and then I decided, okay, apparently this festival wants to happen, and apparently it wants to happen through me, so let's dive into it. So we did dive into it. I asked my brother, because he is an event organizer and he runs that place, so I really need to collab with him, and we deep dived into it. It's brand new and it's very exciting, and I think we created a lovely day with lovely guests. I'm really excited to meet all the beautiful people. The main goal of the Knit to Pilto Festival is connecting, being together. There's happening a lot online, and that's really a good thing and a nice thing. But for one day, I want a little tiny part of that online community, seeing in real life, seeing real people around you, because I think human connection is important too. So it is so exciting in good ways and sometimes also in bad ways, because we worked so hard to prepare a beautiful day, but now it has to happen. So we shall see how it will be, and I'm really looking forward to meet all the nice people, all the guests who will come, but also all the lovely people, all the vendors, all the people who will do some activities. I have some very special guests. I will meet Lerke from Fiber Tales, Jana from Finnish Knitting Stories, and Inga from Knitting Traditions. And I watched their podcasts for quite some years right now, so it's really special to meet them in real life and to have a good chat with them. And we will do an interview with them. They are our guests at the festival, so they have a lot of Dutch fans, so they are happy to meet them in real life, in person too. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm also glad when it's over, because it is very time consuming and very challenging, and the nerves are building up. So but it will be a great day, I'm quite sure. The weather is a little bit unstable. I think I accidentally ordered my favorite weather, and that's rain and cold, but it is my favorite weather for knitting on the couch and not for a yarn festival. It's not a yarn festival, it's a knitting and crochet festival. The most of the things are happening inside, so it's not a problem. And of course, when you are organizing a festival at the end of November, the weather can, although in the Netherlands the weather can always be a big player in the game. But they are expecting some rain, so I will try if I can manifest a little bit more sun, or even just dry. Dry is good, just dry, because I'm really looking forward to stand around campfires and have good chats with other knitters. Yeah, so really looking forward to that. And also really looking forward to all the time I will have in December for knitting. Oh yeah, now I forget something important. I thought I told you everything, but I didn't. Advent is coming. I received my first Advent calendar. I ordered 2 this year. I'm not very experienced with Advent calendars, with yarny Advent calendars, with Advent calendars at all. It is not really a Dutch thing. It is a little bit of a more commercial thing, which is coming more and more in our shops mainly too. But I love the idea of an Advent calendar. And a few years ago, when I just started knitting, I bought 2. And then I had so much yarn. They are most of the time quite expensive, which I understand and which I think it's correct, because it's a lot of work. But I didn't always have the money for it, and I didn't always need so much yarn. So I skipped a few years. But this year I really felt that I needed an Advent calendar in my December life. And then when you decide you need one, you accidentally buy 2, or not accidentally. I was completely aware of it, but I bought 2. I just received 1. The other one hasn't arrived yet. Again, the verbs. This one, I found a lovely basket in the thrift shop, so that's perfect for it. It's by a Dutch dyer. Her name is Manon. Her company name is WitZomer, White Summer. I really love her colorways. She's a brand new dyer, and this is her first Advent calendar. And all the little packages, it's such a job, so much work. I actually ordered a small Advent calendar without the big skeins, but she added the big skeins as a gift. And that was absolutely not necessary. She wanted to thank me for being part of the Knit to Pearl to Festival. She's one of the vendors. And it was absolutely not necessary to thank me for that. But I am happy with yarn, of course, always. I'm very spoiled with people who sending me yarn all the time. And now I must decide when I am allowed to open those 2. Manon says you can decide yourself. Those are all, I want to open 1 package every day. They are numbered, so I will do that that way. But those 2, maybe I will open them next Sunday, I think, when it's November 24. I worked very hard for the festival. Maybe I can spoil myself with some yarn. I won't cast on anything with my Advent calendars. I did do that the first time, and that was not really working for me. So my plan for my yarny Advent calendars this year is collect them all, enjoy the beautiful work of those 2 dyers I bought the calendars from, and then decide what I will make from it. Will it be a blanket or a garment or a lot of socks? I don't know, but I collect them in a basket. But I do want to knit an Advent project, and one of my Dutch knitting friends, her name is Mirjam from Mirjam Molenbeek, she she released an Advent pattern last week in English, so it might be interesting for you too. She even made an English video about it. So I will link it down below. She's a Dutch podcaster and she normally podcasts in Dutch, but especially for this pattern she made an English video too. So I will link it down below. But she designed a blanket which is called the Past, Present and Future blanket. And it's a bit of a ripple, a knitting ripple design. And it's perfect for Advents. You can use 24 20-gram mini skeins. That's the size. And of course you don't have to use them for it, but you can do it if you want to. I don't want to, because I want to save my Advent yarn. But I have a lot of mini skeins. This is one of my baskets. And the fun thing is that it's filled with mini skeins gifted to me by lovely people or changed with lovely people, always on, or I did buy some of them, but it has all to do with connecting with other people. So when I visited yarn events or other crafting days, a lot of changing mini skeins is happening, or buying mini skeins is happening, and there's a lot of heart jumping feeling in this basket. And I have more. I think this might be enough, but I have more, and this basket is waiting for me for over 2 years, and every now and then I add some mini skeins, but I think it's time to knit something beautiful with it. And I'm really looking forward to start the Advent blanket of Mirjam with it and knit it with it. And I'm not sure if I can add 1 mini skein each day, because I'm really looking forward to a lot of knitting time in December. I really want to knit all the sweaters and all the other things. So I'm not sure if I can make it, if I have so much time in a day, but I can imagine I pick 30 minutes every day doing it. And it is not a problem when it's not finished in November. I don't need a blanket, but I really want to enjoy the project. And of course, then after finishing it, I will enjoy the blanket, because there's so much love in the blanket. All the beautiful people dyeing beautiful yarns, but all those lovely people sharing the beautiful yarns with me. So that will be a special blanket, but it's not a problem when it will be finished later. So that is my Advent project for this year. I'm really looking forward to that. Okay, that was it for today. If you are a member of my Heart Jumping Friday videos, then I must apologize. There will not be a Heart Jumping Friday video this week, because on Friday I will be busy with building up the festival location, and I searched for time. There's no time for making a video in between and editing, so I have to skip it this week. I'm sorry, next week I will be there with a Heart Jumping Friday video, and of course next Monday I will be there too, and I think that will be quite a lot Knit to Pilto related. I don't know, because then the Knit to Pilto festival did happen, and of course I want to share my experience with you about that. I don't know if I have much knitting time this week. I didn't thought I had this week, but I did knit half a sock, so I don't know what will happen, but I will be there maybe for a short time next week for just a little chat about my weekend. I wish you a very nice week. I hope you have a lot of heart jumping moments. If you can't find them, create them, because we need them. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.